This is a case study for Queen Elizabeth and her passing on September 8th, 2022. I offer this case study in hopes that people can learn astrology, not to capitalize on the death of someone. I wish all peace to any departed soul. Queen Elizabeth was born April 21st, 1926 at 2:40 a.m. in London, England. This gives her a Sagittarius ascendant, uttara, ashada, nakshatra, and Ketu, the south node, is right on the ascendant. I've done many case studies with monarchs and popes and royalty where you see the nodes very prominent, many born on eclipses and whatnot. You should check out those videos and articles. As for her dashas, the queen was in a Jupiter, Rahu, Mercury dasha cycle. We'll see how that plays into leaving of this earth. In her natal chart, Jupiter, her ruling planet, is debilitated, but it's with Mars, exalted Mars, in the second house, giving enormous power. This is called a neecha, bhanga, Raja Yoga. It's the ruler of the first and fourth houses, which are two angles, joined an exalted Mars, which rules the trinal house, and it's in the second house of family, money, power. Children are also implicated because Mars is the fifth house ruler. This is why she has had enormous wealth and position come through her family, which is the second house, even her home, because the fourth house ruler is there. She lives in a palatial, palace, and even her children. Her son is now the King of England, and then his son is going to be the King of England. So these powerful children, this powerful, physical health, which is the first house ruler, and even where she lives, the fourth house, are all buttressed by this incredibly strong neecha, bhanga, Raja Yoga in her second house with Mars and Jupiter. So we should also not forget Ketu is in the first house, and it's very connected to the past life merit that we get in this lifetime. So all of this inherent power is shown also by that Ketu in the first. The nakshatra of later victory, uttara ashada, shows how someone who lives to be 96 years old and has been the Queen of England for 70 years, that's an enduring later victory. So as for the current transits and dashas that led to her death, since 2017 when Saturn went into Sagittarius and went over her natal Ketu and whatnot, there's been a lot of pressure on her health. Many have thought she had, high risk of dying since around 2017. But especially now this year where Saturn has gone past her Jupiter Mars in the second house, then went retrograde back over it again. This has really shown a lot of vulnerability with Jupiter being her ruling planet and also in the debilitated sign. Of course, again, it has the neecha, bhanga on it, but it's still a place of vulnerability. She developed COVID early in the year. I believe it was in February. She survived that. Many people thought she would go out then, but this tertiary level of dashas, the Jupiter, Rahu, Mercury, really tells the story. Because in addition to having this Saturn going back and forth over her Jupiter, Mars, natally, we see Jupiter in the sky. Retrograde Jupiter is right on her debilitated Mercury in Pisces to the exact degree. Now again, Mercury is clearly the weakest planet because it's in its debilitated sign. It doesn't really have any strong neecha, bhanga on it, but Mercury is also the ruler of Rahu in the seventh house in Gemini, and her moon, the eighth lord in the eighth house, through the nakshatra of Ashada. So Jupiter, Rahu, Mercury, which just started August 9th, has shown a quick decline in her health and the potential for these difficult planets to cause harm. That would be Rahu in the seventh house and also the moon, the eighth lord, in the eighth house. The fact that retrograde Jupiter is right on it now by exact degree shows why its strong potential for harm is now activated. As for the current transits of September 8th, we shouldn't be surprised to find that the moon has joined Saturn in the sky and gotten very close to her Jupiter, Mars in Capricorn. In addition, the ascendant in London at the local time when she passed was also Sagittarius. Likely it was Mula nakshatra. Mula is to pull out by the roots, and yes, that also means uprooting the life force from this physical world into the next. If we examine her harmonic charts, particularly the D30, which is the chart that shows the potential for harm, we can see that Rahu and Ketu are in the ascendant of that chart, and we also see that Mercury, that tertiary level ruler, is in the 12th house, which is also related to the soul leaving the body. So she lived a long life, healthy life for the most part, but at some point the time runs out, Jupiter, Rahu, Mercury really shows, especially based on these rulerships and these transits, of course. So I hope you learned something from this case study. And again, just to say that I offer case studies of people who have, recently deceased with hesitation, because I don't want it to seem like I'm capitalizing on someone's death, but it's a really good case study. We have a very strong chart here where we know that it's a accurate time, and we can see this. Plus, again, she lived a very long life, and I hope you learned something from this. So if you want to know how to make predictions like this based on simple but highly effective methods, I've been teaching this for 10 to 15 years. I recommend you get some of my courses, learn how to make accurate predictions, to know what's happening all the time with the dashas, the rulerships, the transits, bringing it all together. You can learn how to do this. It's a science, but it has to be taught scientifically, and that's what I've spent my life and career doing. So check out my website and my courses on making predictions. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell on YouTube to get notified of new videos and live streams. Also, leave a comment, share it with others on Facebook, Twitter, or other social media platforms.